Personality case study using Nakshatra and NLP-1. Since Anna has Krittika Rising as her ascendant, this gives her a precise and no-frills approach to life. She likely feels a strong need to cut through confusion and get to the point. There's clarity in how she sees herself and the world. Krittika brings a sense of purpose and internal fire, but that fire is tightly channeled. Anna is not impulsive. She's intentional. She probably carries an internal checklist. Things need to align with a certain logic or ethic for her to feel good moving forward. NLP-wise, this ascendant lines up with auditory-digital preferences. She learns best through structure and internal analysis, rather than needing external praise or flashy visuals. Anna likely thinks in clean, rational lines. Does this make sense? Is this effective? And she feels safer when life follows a clear sequence. She's the kind to feel more energized when there's something to fix or optimize, rather than just go with the flow. Her second house, though not detailed with a planet, still gains flavor from its placement in Taurus. This would reinforce her preference for value, steadiness, and function in how she manages her resources, financial and otherwise. She may feel a strong connection to the things she owns and be quite discerning about what she allows into her personal environment. Security, both material and emotional, probably ranks high for her. In Anna's third house, things get interesting. She has both Jupiter and Mars here, sitting in Mrigashira and Punarvasu respectively. Jupiter in Mrigashira gives her a curiosity that doesn't quit. Anna thinks deeply, asks questions, and explores ideas for the joy of it. She's likely drawn to things that stretch her mind: writing, learning languages, engaging in philosophical debates, or just observing the world with a thoughtful lens. This placement makes her a natural teacher too, someone who breaks things down for others with clarity and charm. With NLP filters in play, this points to someone who switches between big picture and small steps depending on the situation. She can speak abstractly but also get granular when needed. Her speech and thoughts might often reflect both sides. Let me give you the overview. Now, here's how it works step by step. Now, Mars in Punarvasu adds a softer, more cyclical drive. Instead of explosive energy, Anna's motivation likely comes in waves. She moves forward, pulls back, reflects, then tries again. There's emotional logic at play here. Mars in this nakshatra doesn't fight to win, it acts to restore and rebuild. Anna's action style likely feels less aggressive and more nourishing. She probably doesn't rush into conflict, but instead prefers to heal or fix things through repeated effort. From an NLP view, she might be very kinesthetic, needing to feel the right time to act, and doing best when she's hands-on. She probably retains ideas more when she's engaged through movement or process. Then we move into her fourth house, the space of emotions, security, and home. And here we find no planet placed, but Cancer's influence still applies. Anna likely holds deep emotional patterns here, and may be somewhat private about her inner world. Because this house often correlates with early conditioning, Anna probably grew up internalizing that emotional stability comes from self-discipline and restraint. She's likely very attuned to comfort and support, both giving and receiving, but may not always express it openly. In NLP terms, she would lean toward an internal frame of reference in emotional matters. She knows what she feels and doesn't need much confirmation. Her internal world is rich and intuitive, and while she may not always show it, she feels things deeply. Now, the fifth house is where Anna starts to bring her intelligence into the world. With Saturn placed here in Magha, her creative expression comes with a sense of legacy and responsibility. Anna probably feels that her ideas and talents need to matter. They should contribute to something lasting. She's unlikely to take her hobbies or passions lightly. Whether it's a creative project, a child, or a knowledge-sharing opportunity, Anna invests in it like it's a duty. She might find joy in tradition or structure, things that honor the past while building for the future. NLP-wise, she's got a reactive flavor here. Instead of jumping in impulsively, Anna prefers to observe, assess, and then contribute. She learns through disciplined repetition and needs time to warm up creatively. That said, once she does, there's a kind of regal quality to her work, like it carries weight. In her sixth house, which deals with routine, discipline, and self-improvement, Anna has Rahu and Hasta. This is where her precision turns laser sharp. Rahu gives her an obsessive edge. She may feel compelled to master her environment, her habits, her workflow. There's something in her that feels restless unless things are efficient and clean. Anna likely has a knack for noticing what's off, even in the smallest details. She could excel in systems work, process design, or any role that lets her fix and refine. Rahu in Hasta also means she may be extremely skilled with her hands or tools, from writing, editing, coding to healing arts. NLP-wise, Anna is tuned into specifics here. She probably remembers routines down to the detail and may feel unsettled if she can't get her day in order. She also has a strong towards orientation in this house. She's actively looking to become better, stronger, sharper. But there's a risk of burnout too, if she doesn't build in enough rest or detachment. So by the time we get to this point in her chart, from Ascendant through the 6th house, Anna already feels like someone with extraordinary depth and internal clarity. She's balanced between curiosity and caution, expression and refinement, boldness and structure. Continuing from the 7th house, Anna's chart takes a distinctly introspective turn, especially from the 11th onward, where the planetary action intensifies. Her 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th houses are empty of planets in this chart, so while they certainly function and hold meaning based on signs and aspects, we'll keep our focus on the houses where planets actively reside. That brings us to her 11th house, the domain of long-term goals, gains, friendships, and social recognition. Anna has the sun placed here in Purva Bhadrapada, and that creates a fascinating dynamic. The sun in this position suggests that Anna's identity is strongly tied to the ideals she holds and the future she envisions. She likely thinks about the collective, the big picture, the legacy. When Anna sets a goal, it's rarely small or material. She's the kind to say, how does this help the world? Or does this contribute to something meaningful? There's also a strong intuitive charge here. She may find herself gravitating towards spiritual or humanitarian causes without always knowing why, only that they feel right. With NLP filters, the sun here points to a visual auditory-digital hybrid. Anna likely imagines what the future should look like and then backs that vision with logical plans and structure. She thrives when her goals resonate with her values. In group settings, Anna likely feels a deep need to align with people who have vision, not just ambition, but moral clarity. She doesn't want shallow wins, she wants purpose-driven progress. Then comes the most profound part of Anna's chart, the 12th house, where the moon, Mercury, Venus, and Ketu all sit, forming a deeply loaded internal and spiritual landscape. Starting with the moon in Purva Bhadrapada, Anna's emotional world is otherworldly. She probably feels things that aren't easily explainable. Her moods may follow rhythms beyond the obvious, not just hormonal or situational, but cosmic or archetypal. There's a kind of old soul sensitivity here. She might dream vividly, pick up on atmospheres in rooms, or feel emotionally porous without knowing why. Anna's intuitive channel is wide open. She's probably someone who senses people's intentions long before they act. Mercury and Venus in Uttara Bhadrapada take this sensitivity into a more refined and graceful expression. Anna probably thinks in metaphors, speaks poetically, and prefers meaningful, soulful conversations over small talk. Her aesthetic taste might be minimalist, sacred, or symbolically rich. She could be drawn to music, poetry, sacred texts, or elegant design. There's a sweet tension between Mercury's desire to analyze and Venus's need to feel beauty. And in Anna, these likely coexist in her creativity. She might write intuitively or analyze through beauty. Her thoughts are rarely cold logic. They're likely soaked in meaning. Ketu here reinforces all of this. It adds a feeling of detachment and past life wisdom. Anna may not even be consciously spiritual in a traditional sense, but she probably moves through life with a quiet awareness that nothing is fully under control, and that's okay. She might find it hard to identify strongly with ego, possessions, or roles. There's likely a pull toward renunciation, or at least a desire to be free of unnecessary attachment. She may go through phases of withdrawing socially, needing deep solitude to reset. In NLP language, the 12th house shows Anna as highly dissociated in processing. She often watches her thoughts and emotions from a slight distance, not in a cold way, but as an observer. This gives her wisdom and neutrality, but sometimes makes her feel a bit outside of life. Her time orientation here is through time, She probably reflects often and anticipates long-term consequences, both practical and karmic. Her work preference is solo. Anna likely does her best work in isolation, especially when it involves reflection, artistry, or spiritual insight. Altogether, this 12th house stellium makes Anna feel like someone living two lives, one outwardly sharp and competent, and another inwardly timeless and sacred. She has one foot in the material world and the other in the metaphysical. And for her, that balance isn't a conflict, it's her nature.